welcome to what has turned into a very rainy affair for us today. But that's fine because this is a Veterans Day parade. A lot of the entrants that you're going to be seeing today are veterans, and they're used to doing things in the rain.
And this is our dear friend Matt Stevens. He has served in the Marines, and he is presently our co-anchor for the day. Matt Stevens and I am Karen Day, and we are very happy to have you here for the 74th National Veterans Day Parade.
So let's take a look at the route, Karen, and show people where we're going and how we're getting there.
This year's route is the original in reverse. It starts at the top of downtown by Alabama School of Fine Arts on 18th Street, looking across the valley toward Red Mountain. Head south on 18th, past Alabama Power and the stunning Lyric and Alabama Theaters, and turn left onto 2nd Avenue North. Past the McWane Center and Pizitz Building, cross 20th Street, past the City Federal Building and Levy's, 4 generations of veterans, thank you, and turn left onto 22nd Street. Head north 3 blocks past St. Paul's Cathedral and the gorgeous Birmingham News Building, and turn left onto 5th Avenue North past the Redmont Hotel, the Regions Plaza on the Birmingham Green, which is great for watching the parade, and then make the only right turn onto 19th Street, hitting the home stretch past the historic First Methodist Church and on up past the viewing stand in front of City Hall.
And that's where we are currently, and in front of us we have the Birmingham police officers on motorcycles doing some really fancy motorcycle work in the rain here, doing figure eights at speed. Thank you to them, cleared the streets out for us and getting us started here.
Fantastic. They're breaking in our beautiful shield that's on the street, which looks great in the rain.
It is shiny, so we do have that. So we have some underglow on everything today, so that'll be fun. Hats off to them.
I know.
That is, we're under a tarp, so let's be clear. We are under a tarp. But
wait, I must correct. We are under, the correct term is pop-up.
We are under a pop-up. They are not. They are in the rain, and they are doing an amazing job.
Absolutely. So, well, also, one of the things that our fantastic police chief, Patrick Smith, I got to hear him speak the other night, but what you're looking at is one of their mobile command centers for the Birmingham Police Department, and they're doing a fantastic job making the city feel connected in more ways.
They're going to have their hands full here pretty soon. We've got the World Games coming in 2022, so they're getting some practice on those motorcycles because they're going to be all over the place when the World Games come.
Yes, they are.
So we have one of their mobile command units here that's coming by the review stand.
They're doing what I know that this is Veterans Day Parade, but we just want you to know that the Police Department of Birmingham is working very, it sounds trite, but they're working very carefully to make sure that the city is covered in all the ways that it needs to be, and the technology keeps improving. And they are. They've
been on it today because we earlier we thought the parade was starting about 20 minutes ago when we had an SUV just appear out of nowhere in the middle of the street and immediately get flagged down, and they dispatched him pretty quick. So hats off.
Yeah. Tell Courtney to turn around. She doesn't need to look at us anymore.
So next up, it looks like we've got some folks here from the Red Cross, American Red Cross. That is one of their disaster relief units. So.
Oh, by the way, that's actually one of the Armed Forces.
So that's
units.
Part of their Armed Forces program, then.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And the Red Cross, yes, it prevents and alleviates human suffering, but their service to the Armed Forces program is for the military specifically and veterans at home and around the world. And Matt, I think that you had an experience with the Red Cross while you were deployed.
That's actually, I can't believe you remembered that. So yeah, so one of the ways that the Red Cross helps out, and that's a very touchy subject, is they will send out Red Cross messages, and we'll get to that in a second. As the parade officially starts, our banner is crossing the logo now.
Yes, and you're looking at the Raymond Weeks family. We're going to tell you a little bit later on a little bit more about exactly what changed in Birmingham with the Veterans Day, changing from Armistice Day back in '47.
And if anybody is going to march in the rain and do precision drill, it's going to be a Marine Corps ROTC program.
Yes.
And that's what we see in front of us, the Shades Valley ROTC program. And hats off to them because it is coming down on them. So
There we
next up
go.
here, we've got a World War II Jeep. Let's see who's in it here. This is going to be our Grand Marshal, I believe.
That's
Karen.
right.
So this
Yeah.
is Sergeant Major of the Army.
Michael A. Grinston.
And looks like Sergeant Major's going to get out of this Jeep in the rain. And he did.
is.
Outstanding.
So he was sworn in as the 16th Sergeant Major of the Army in 2019. He's held every enlisted leadership position in artillery, ranging from cannon crew member to command sergeant major.
And he's from Jasper. So,
right, but you're looking at, he is the highest ranking enlisted soldier in the nation.
He's also sporting the new Army uniform. So the Army switched to a new uniform. Looks really, really good. We'll see a few of those through the parade route today.
Yes. And I think you heard Matt saying he's from Jasper. They have a saying that he's the best thing to come out of Jasper since Highway 78. You ever heard that? No. Very, very proud of Command Sergeant Major Michael A. Grinston.
It's one of those things.
So Randall Woodfin, Mayor Randall Woodfin, just drove by in a brand new Bronco.
I'm really proud
so
that I can be out here with you. I don't care what the weather is. It's just a great day to be here in Alabama. And yesterday I was at the University of Alabama, and somebody said to me, they said, "Welcome to Alabama," which is, for me, was a little strange, because I am from Alabama, and it was very odd. So I said, "Well, you mean welcome back." So it's good to be back here, and it's good to be with my fellow Alabamians. And for those of you that are Alabama fans, I'll just say, there it is, Roll Tide. Yeah. I know there's another football team that we talk about, but we don't talk about that. But thank you for having me here today, and thank you for letting me be a part of this. And today we celebrate Veterans Day, and we recognize all those who have served our nation with honor and distinction. The Army's people are its greatest strength. And taking care of them and ensuring that they are ready to fight and win our nation's wars is our top priority. For nearly a century, we have celebrated Veterans Day on the anniversary of the armistice that ended the fighting along the Western Front in World War I on November the 11th in 1918. This year, we commemorate
Yes, at CSC
the creation of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington National Cemetery. It's the 100th anniversary of the tomb, a reminder of the ultimate sacrifice that some of our veterans have made to our nation and our nation's debt to those who have served with honor. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is the heart of Arlington National Cemetery. It's a people's memorial that inspires reflection on service, valor, sacrifice, and mourning. As a sacred memorial site and the grave of the 3 unknown American service members, the tomb connects visitors with the legacy of the United States Armed Forces throughout the nation's history. Arlington National Cemetery conducts more than 3,000 cemeteries and hosts more than 4 million visitors a year. More than 400,000 individuals are buried in these hallowed grounds, including service members from all the United States conflicts from the American Revolution through today. During World War I, the United States government allowed families to choose whether they wanted their fallen loved ones to be buried overseas or repatriated. France and Great Britain had more casualties and more unknown dead than the United States. And the repatriation of their citizens remains, and instead buried one of their unknown service members in a special tomb on Armistice Day on November 11th, 1920. And on March 1921, President Woodrow Wilson signed into law a congressional resolution to create the similar tomb in the United States. And on November the 11th, 1921, one unidentified U.S. service member received a state funeral ceremony and was interned in the newly created Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. For many of those who came to pay their respects, this unknown soldier came to represent their own unknown service member, their brother, father, son, and friend of those who died and was unidentified and buried far from home. During the early years, thousands came to mourn the tomb and pay their respects to not only that soldier, but to all soldiers he represented. In 1938, 6 years after completion of the final design of the tomb, Congress made Armistice Day an official annual ceremony. And in 1954, the name was changed to Veterans Day, an idea that started right here in Alabama in 1947. While Memorial Day is a time we remember those who died in service of their country, Veterans Day is a time to remember those who have served, past and present. In the Army, we consider our greatest asset to be our people. Our all-volunteer Army is a credit to Americans of all races, genders, and creeds. Our common commitment to defense and love country binds us together and unifies us. That goes to the heart of what it means to be an American. Your Army has proven over the past year that we are ready to protect our nation. Just in Alabama, as the Alabama National Guard this year, your 5th Medical Brigade stood up an urban augmentation task force to fight COVID. Your Army National Guard worked to rebuild the community after Hurricane Ida. And this year, the 82nd Airborne Division deployed to Afghanistan to help 124,000 national non-combatants evacuated in 15 days. The U.S. now has a population of veterans, which is the largest population of veterans since the Vietnam War. We owe it to these men and women to make sure they transition from active duty careers with special skills and experiences to find meaningful employment. And as I conclude, I could just say, today is Veterans Day, and we thank you for all that you have done. And after 20 years, people have said, thank you for your service. And to all the veterans that have sacrificed deployment after deployment after deployment, all I can say is you are worth it. Thank you, people first and Army strong. Thank you.
Well, we certainly do appreciate having the highest ranking officer in the, or I'm sorry, highest ranking enlisted member of the United States Army present with us. And we will get back to the parade now. They've sped it up a little bit with the rain going on, so we'll kind of keep you informed to the best that we can, working with the conditions that we've got. But coming up next, it looks like we've got the VFW Auxiliary for post 12185 in Alabaster.
Yes.
That post was founded by a group in Alabaster in honor of
Lance Corporal Rivers.
There we go.
That's right. And we adore them. Danny Sample, who puts the parade in order, that is his brewery, Siluria, that holds the meetings for the first veterans group to be started in Alabama in 30 years. And
yeah,
now
it was like
here
1997,
is
yeah.
Southern Preparatory Academy made it out in the rain. The cadet battalion commander is Captain Stuart Hauer, and we are very grateful that he brought his people here today.
Yeah, we have a pretty high turnout today for the conditions. Everybody knew it was going to rain, and they came out anyway, so we really are supportive.
This is Alabama's official secondary school. It's one of only 13 boys boarding military schools in the U.S., and they boast fully accredited 100% college acceptance. So I wanted to say that out loud while they're there.
And they're marching lock and step, so good for them.
Plus they're having to do eyes right, which is not normal. Look at that, they have raincoats.
Oh, I'm sure they'd wish they were had a little more than just a raincoat. Take what you can get.
Yeah.
Drum Corps' excited though.
That's my favorite part.
Okay, so coming up next we have the Briarwood Christian School Band. Briarwood Christian School Marching Band is from right here in Birmingham. Band director is the fabulous Mr. Chris Nugent. Assistant directors Chris Brown and Shelby Pilgrim.
And this is the first time that the Briarwood Marching Lions have participated in the National Veterans Day Parade, and we owe all
What
that
an
to
excellent
Mr.
year.
Chris. Yes, Mr. Chris Nugent. Bring them back, Chris. It'll be so much more fun next year.
Exactly. So they'll be back next year. I don't think those drummers are worried about the rain at all. Good for them. So now we have the state commander for the Military Order of the Purple Heart. For those of you that don't know, the Purple Heart is an award that it's probably the most difficult one to earn. That is awarded to service members who were injured, usually in a combat environment. So combat wounded, that is what the Military Order of the Purple Heart supports.
I get the different things like oak leaves mixed up.
Yeah, so this one, what you've got, it's the Purple Heart, and the image there is of General Washington. So that's how, if you see any veterans wearing purple, just in general, you know, in kind of a crest or something like that, it probably has something to do with them being awarded a Purple Heart. Fortunately, I do not have one of those. So now we've got the 117th Air Refueling Wing. This is Colonel Michael Adams, the Operations Group Commander of the 117th Air Refueling Wing. And they are actually located at the Joint Base here in Birmingham and commanded by Colonel Alan King.
I don't know if you're familiar with exactly what the Air Refueling Wing does, but they fly KC-135s. They refuel fighters and bombers, and they are set at a moment's notice to go anywhere on the planet to do it.
Flying gas stations.
Yeah.
So they literally will load those planes up with as much fuel as they can get them. They'll fly them around, and then other planes that don't have that range can hook up to that plane in midair and do a refueling and keep going. So it extends the range of really any aircraft that we have.
And they've brought their families this year. These are the 117th Air Refueling families, and it takes a lot. I'm a dependent. I was a daughter of an Air Force navigator. Oh boy, this is the Southern Museum of Flight. You ought to go. It's only 2 blocks from the airport, and they have all kinds of
they've got some very interesting stuff out there. So they, right now what you're seeing is the helicopter from MASH, if you will. But that was a kind of a groundbreaking thing, because prior to this, there was no way to get a wounded soldier off the battlefield other than on the ground. So when you introduced helicopters during the Korean conflict, and this was the helicopter they used, the chances of dying in combat went down dramatically. And Southern Museum of Flight has an excellent example here for us.
Is that that's not a Jet Ranger. Is that a Robinson? The bubble.
Oh no, it's a Bell something. It's like a Bell 102 or something like that.
Yeah. So you are now looking at the Lieutenant General Victor Brute Krulak Detachment of the Marine Corps League. And after that, you're looking also at the DAV National Senior Vice Commander.
Right. So the Disabled American Veterans was an organization created in 1920 by World War I veterans to help disabled military veterans of the armed forces and their families. And it was created, so created in 1920. They got a federal charter in 1932. So they do have federal funding for this. They currently have over 1 million members.
And there's a lot to it. And again, these people are absolutely going by like a...
I mean, it's raining, so they're moving.
So we've
Fleet
seen
Reserve Association is the yellow car you just saw there.
And there is Tier 1 Birmingham. They are a fantastic ceramic coating group, and we're so happy to see them. That's a dear friend of ours.
So the owner of the company is actually a 10th Mountain Division veteran, and and like I said, that's kind of the theme of the Veterans Day Parade. Is you're going to have a lot of veterans participating in the parade. They're not worried about the rain because this is probably the easiest go they've ever had of doing something in the rain. So
this is something that Matt has been learning about this year. These are the Buffalo Soldiers, and they've expanded their name, the Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club.
It's founded in 1993 in Chicago by retired police officer Kenneth Thomas. So it's a motorcycle club, but what they track their heritage back to is African Americans of the 9th and 10th Cavalry who sacrificed their lives right at the end of the Civil War. These soldiers served on the western frontier. It's very nice to see them out on motorcycles in the rain.
And I believe that we are looking with.
We'll figure out what we're looking at here in a minute.
Quiet.
Lest we forget.
Okay, so this is the Krulak Marine Alliance of the Marine Corps League.
So we have a couple of different organizations that are actually named in honor of Marine Corps General Krulak, and this is one of them. So these are organizations that serve Marines and family members in distress and need, other military veterans as the resources permit, but really trying to do some suicide prevention work in the Marine Corps community. This particular, the Krulak Marine Division, they've actually raised over $260,000 in financial aid since 2018. So this is not a, you think Marine Corps is smaller than everybody else, but when you get them together, they can really motivate and get moving.
Exactly. And the Salvation Army, a lot of people just have one simple way of thinking about Salvation Army, but it's actually...
Yeah, most people think Salvation Army and they think thrift store, but there's a lot more to it.
Right, there's not one way of life that is not affected in one way or another by the services of the Salvation Army.
Overseas as well, they actually do things in over 130 countries. They have over almost 2 million members, and they assist roughly 30 million members, or 30 million Americans every single year, most of those veterans.
What can we do?
They're kind of, I want to say they're kind of like the United Way.
They are. They're very similar organizations.
In that they raise money that then goes to other familiar organizations in the community.
Exactly like what we see here, disaster services. So they have units that will mobilize for hurricanes, natural disasters, and things of that nature.
And you are seeing some Boy Scouts,
some
the
very
little
brave
ones,
Boy Scouts.
the little biddies that have made it out to play in the rain today. This is the Greater Alabama Council of the Boy Scouts of America.
So the Boy Scouts were founded in 1910. Their mission is to prepare youth to become America's future leaders and pillars of society. So the Scouts learn values of making positive ethical and moral choices throughout their lifetime. End up being mentors in our community. Their motto is duty to God and country.
You could be looking at a future president right there. Already practicing his wave. Yeah. And there are a bunch of them. I'm surprised that this many were able to make it out in the rain today. And the 50 flags had to hold off because of it was a pretty serious forecast until a little while ago.
All right, Boy Scouts, let's hear Happy Veterans Day.
Wow.
Well, they're happy to be here for sure.
That is good.
The leaders of today and tomorrow, Boy Scouts of America.
So there's actually 25,000 Boy Scouts throughout 22 counties in Alabama right now. So that's why you can see a long progression of them here.
Look at the little one crossing. Forgive me.
So now we have the Greater Alabama Council, the
Continuing
Cherokee
on.
District.
They've
So these are Girl Scouts.
Yeah, this is Gary Nelson is the president of Team Corvette of Alabama.
Corvette Club is located in Birmingham, Alabama. Again, with the theme, a lot of these people are veterans themselves, so glad to see them coming out and supporting each other here.
Hey, they're all about Team Corvette of Alabama.
And of course, if you're going to spend $80,000 on a two-door car, you're gonna rev the engine every chance you get. So.
The Alabama School for the Blind is someone we look forward to every year. Chad Bell is the band director, and they did a great shout out for us last year for the virtual parade. So
So the
They come
Alabama
in-
School for the Blind Band is actually directed by Chad Bell, made up of students with visual impairments from all across the Alabama.
And Chad Bell's his point in bringing them to the parade is making sure there are opportunities for students to participate in traditions like National Veterans Day Parade.
So
Yeah, we wanted to hold off for a minute to let you hear them for a little bit. Just let them hear you. But
So what you see here is the Veterans Disaster Relief Team Incorporated Tactical Operation Center Bus. All that really means is that there are a group of veterans in Birmingham that have decided to mobilize specifically for disaster relief. I know that this is an amazing, amazing organization because there was it was Hurricane Laura, I think maybe, 1 or 2 years ago in Louisiana. I was able to get them routed to a buddy of mine's house in Louisiana on the coast, and they helped clean up his yard.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, he had trees down everywhere, and they've also done some work for a friend of mine when the tornadoes went through Nashville downtown.
Right.
I got him linked up with a friend of mine that does some philanthropy stuff up there. So they'll go all over the southeast and
Well,
help
look
out.
at you, and you're a good friend for getting them to do it. So we're looking at the
So
wait, hold on. This is Oaks on Parkwood.
Yeah.
It says Nolan Health Services.
Right, yeah.
But it's
So-
actually the Oaks that we're familiar with.
So this is it's basically a retirement community for military members, so that they can, their specialized health needs are being met.
Hey, look, we got Vulcan.
And so here you see Vulcan sporting World Games attire. World Games are going to be here next year, 2022. Birmingham is hosting the World Games. A lot of people don't know what the World Games is. Well, they're actually affiliated and funded by the International Olympic Committee, and it's kind of a
They always get the summer after.
right, and they're where the games that you don't see in the Olympics go.
That's right.
And the hope there is that they're able to generate enough interest that those games can end up being included in the Olympic Games. And then we've got Little Caesars here as well. Little Caesars actually does a really good job. They have a veteran initiative program, so when you get out of the military, they'll actually help you start a franchise if you're looking for a career. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's news to me. And here, friends from Share It Farm, their last name is actually Share It, but they're calling the Share It because they love to bring people out to the farm and help them get more comfortable. Yeah, that's the horses. It's the horsemanship lessons.
Connecting horses with
Some people,
veterans specifically, it helps with PTSD.
Exactly.
And how are you going to look at that little girl on that little horse and not think something positive? So horses do a wonderful, wonderful job. And organizations like this, getting horses involved in the veteran community, it helps with PTSD, and they do a wonderful job of it.
and as well as autism, and sometimes the social problems that come with different developmental situations. When they're able to ride the horse, they get it. They actually get it. Yeah, and this is the Share It Farm bus. Well, apparently they have cows too. Man, they really turned out today. I don't think we've seen an organization that had their own bus. It's
and
always
horses in the
been-
rain, I'm told, and you know this more than I do, I guess,
Yeah.
but horses in the rain is kind of a delicate deal, so good on them for sticking with it here.
It really is. It's all because of their hooves in the street. Yeah, we've had incorporated horse riders and Carousel Breed Farms. They've been around for over 30 years. That's oh, and also Carousel Breeds. They want to shout out to Larry Shackelford, who's a Navy Vietnam Sea Wolf. Thank you for your service.
So this group of both.
We got a gazillion.
Yeah,
We're trying to keep
yeah.
them straight. They put all the horses together. That all started when the 40 and 8 would bring their train car and it had a cannon on it. We couldn't scare the horses, so we keep them all up in 3, and the 40 and 8 can come later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's nice
So-
to see all the horses still here. I know that we were talking a few days ago, and with the weather concerns, there was a possibility that there would have been no horses. So, excellent and amazing to see that they
Yeah.
that they came out. And if,
Oh, we have to
all know
give
the,
a hand.
The
There
yep,
they are.
There they are. Exactly.
The
That's it.
fractured
We all
fairy
know what they're
tales
doing
end
here.
of it.
It is not a thankless job, and they're getting rave reviews from the people that are in attendance here.
I think they have the best time of anyone. Don't lie.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, okay. You have Sons of American Revolution and Daughters of the American Revolution.
So
this is Patrice Donnelly, and she has joined in with the Cahaba chapter today.
So the Daughters of American Revolution is a nonprofit, non-political women's service organization whose mission is the historic preservation, education, and patriotism. These are people that can actually track their lineage back to ancestors that fought in the Revolutionary War.
Daughters of the American Revolution.
And there are a lot of these chapters, and you can see the names on the side of the cards here. Rain's kind of affecting our ability to help you out with that, but there are a lot of these chapters.
There's Alabama Society, there's the David Lindsay chapter, there's the General Sumter chapter, there's the Lily of the Cahaba chapter, and the Princess Sehoy chapter, and every one of them, they are all different groups that are all banding together to I guess, espouse the...
So it's patriotism, historical preservation, and keeping those traditional, what they consider traditional American values going.
Right. And also we got to mention the Birmingham Territory chapter of the Daughters of American Revolution. And also we have the Sons. Come back one. We have the Sons.
Dressed up in period.
And in period costume from the Revolution.
This is very much what you would have seen in the late 1700s.
Woodlawn High School. We got the JROTC, and we were hoping for the band. But the Woodlawn, well, first of all, they're under the direction of Major Yolanda Bowman and Sergeant First Class Letitia Jackson. They are one of the 11 Birmingham area high schools. And as you know, JROTC, what is it?
Oh, it's a great program. So it teaches high school students the value of citizenship, leadership, service to the community, personal responsibility, and even more so, a lot of these children that you see here are already headed down the path to joining the military. So that's a lot of what the ROTC does is prepare people to join the military, either enlisted or officer. So, it's fascinating and wonderful, and we've already seen several groups like this, that there are so many people. Oh, I don't want to interrupt them here.
And no
Awesome.
raincoats.
No raincoats. But so many minors, children around the state that are involved in these ROTC programs end up going into the military. So wonderful to see them getting a taste of the rain, because they're going to get used to it if they want to keep going. And I suggest that they do.
There's something very special here in Birmingham. It's Lakeshore Foundation, and what I want to talk about specifically is Lima Foxtrot. That's their program that has to do with helping wounded, ill, injured men and women from our armed forces with inclusive sport and recreation. Within that program, there's Operation Endurance, which promotes physical activities, games, basketball, all the things, and they encourage them to have sustained, significant.
So a lot of what they do is that they're helping out, veterans that were critically injured at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And so think of the Lakeshore Foundation as kind of the premier organization in the country for rehabilitation and physical therapy for disabled veterans.
The Paralympic swim team trains at their Olympic swimming pool. They have a lot of Paralympic teams that train there and also this is Mid-Alabama Corvette Club. Now I want you to know that because of the rain, we had to not use our gimbal today. We miss our friend Kevin Key, who is so good, but when the Corvettes come down the street, we put him out in the middle and just let them go by. And it's so dramatic. It's a shot, one of my favorite shots of the whole parade. But this is Mid-Alabama Corvette Club. They work closely with Magic Moments, and all the proceeds from the different events go to this Alabama Children's Organization. And recently, $15,000 was presented to Magic Moments by the Mid-Alabama Corvette Club.
And it's great to see clubs like this existing, because some people just think, well, they're just together because they all have the same car. No, a lot of these people are veterans.
Yes.
So, and a lot of these veterans, especially nowadays, they don't necessarily want to be, going to meetings on Saturday mornings or things like that. So this is a way for them to connect with other veterans. And I'm sure probably half, if not more, of the people that you see in these vehicles are military veterans.
And they're
so
riding
they
in
found
memory
a way.
of, in
Yeah,
honor of,
exactly.
And you can see on the sides of
and
the cars
they've
what they're
found a
doing.
way to connect and keep those bonds going.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful organizations.
Honoring
It's not just
veterans.
guys in cars. They do a lot for the community and for each other.
Although there's a lot of guys in cars in it.
And I honestly thought he was going to do a burnout right there. I really did, which would have been impressive.
His wife probably told him not to ruin the shield.
Yeah, right. You go in any direction and you just done $100,000 in property damage. So.
So here we are looking at the Alabama Elks Association. Now, they want us to mention POW Newton Duke, representing all POWs and missing in action.
So the Elks Association is proud to recognize veterans from all branches of the armed forces who have served and protected our country during peace and war times. Elks recognize that after serving and protecting our country, many of our veterans return home in need of a hand up. And that's what they're there for. It's a great organization. A lot of Elks are veterans themselves. They work to provide opportunities for youth through patriotic essay contests, hoop shoot competitions,
and
drug
look,
awareness.
It says they're second only to the United States government in the amount of scholarships awarded nationally each year.
Wow, I did not know that.
So they stress Americanism and patriotism through all their activities. Not politics, but patriotism and
Patriotism and
Americanism.
politics, two completely separate things. You're right.
Yes. And so now we've got the American Legion. There are a bunch of them. The American Legion is the largest veterans organization.
Oh, it's got to be close, because the American Legion, for example, disabled American veterans. Well, if you're not a disabled veteran, then you don't qualify to be in that club. But
and if you never,
American Legion, if you served in the military, you're qualified to be in the American Legion. So it's an excellent way to keep those bonds of brotherhood going.
It's true.
And who doesn't want to ride around in exactly that truck? And I know my wife is watching this, and that is exactly the truck that I say when I say I want that truck.
Now, wait a minute. Wasn't it a Corvette that you wanted 2 years ago, I think?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
But last year, there weren't.
It was 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, next.
I never got it either, by the way. So this is the 21st District Department of Alabama Sergeant at Arms, Freddie Jones.
Yes, he is. And he is saluting us. And there are so many of them rolling by.
American Legion's another one like the Elks Club. They do a lot of different things for a lot of different communities, because there are so many veterans that qualify to, for enrollment in the American Legion. A lot of times they work hand in hand with other, like veterans of foreign wars and things like that. A lot of times you'll find those groups occupying the same spaces at the same times.
That's true.
So we've got a past commander of the national, so the past commander of the American Legion, J.T. Tate here.
Now that's a surprise. Making it all the way down.
And another one. So this is the past commander of 21st District, Crystal Jones.
And Gordon Seal is the past commander from the American Legion Department of Alabama.
I don't know that. I guess American Legion honks horns. Is kind of.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, no.
And of course, because when you retire from the military and you get your government pension, what are you going to do with it? You're going to go out and you're going to spend $80,000 on a Corvette. So we have more Corvettes on the way.
I'm not sure. We've had the junior leadership group.
Oh, he's stopping. Is he going to do it?
Sure.
I thought for a second.
But this is the Bama Joyriders Corvettes Club. Joyriders.
So the Alabama Corvette Club is based in Birmingham, and they contribute throughout the community by multiple different ways. A lot of it is just giving children something to look forward to. It's not just a cool car. You have to get there. You have to get to a place in your life where you can buy one. And seeing these in person for youth is an excellent way to say, hey, you can do that too one day. And again, a lot of these are veterans as well.
close-up. That is beautiful.
Yeah,
There you
if you're going to
go.
spend that
Thank
much
you.
money on it, you're going to be proud of it for sure.
Yeah. Man. Okay, Bobby Peter kids. They were new to us 2 years ago. I keep saying 2 years ago because last year we did a virtual where we gave you the highlights from several years. But these people, just as the military instills character development in its recruits, Bobby Peter Kids inspires children ages 4 to 12 in positive characters, academic excellence, societal productivity. But the way they do it is through music, drama, and all kinds of abstract art. But these are the Bobby Peter Kids. And they are very happy to be here today, and they wanted to wish you a happy Veterans Day.
Lots of smiling faces. Lots of smiling faces, and that's what you like to see at things like this. Not letting the weather get them down.
Yeah. And that apparently is Bobby Peter. I still have not been able to learn enough about him. So, and then the Alabama Gold Wing Road Riders Associations. Yeah, they were founded in '77.
I believe they're actually the largest single marquee. Yeah, they are. So they're the largest motorcycle association in the world.
What is a single marquee? What does that mean?
Under one name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they provide safety, technical, and educational services to their members, and their motto, Friends for Fun, Safety, and Knowledge. The Gold Wing Road Riders Association.
The Alabama Gold Wing Riders Association.
So this is Magic City Chevys here. Magic City Chevys of Birmingham is committed to serving the community and donating to different organizations. Their motto is "We ride as one."
And we want to mention Staff Sergeant Johnny Myricks, U.S. Army.
Yeah, and you can see on the door here,
James Edwards.
they've got a lot of people that they're riding in support of. So again, most of the people that you see in the parade, you think, well, why are they? It's just some guy in a Camaro. No, it's usually a veteran that's riding in honor of someone that they know that has passed away.
And there's also these are the ones who are here today.
Right.
Lonnie Myers, James Edwards, and also U.S. Army Staff Sergeant R.J. Donald. He's U.S. Marine Corps, all retired. I think I missed a few commas there, but.
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah.
American Legion Post 171, and their unit auxiliary president here.
Those guys, there are over 100 people in that chapter, I know.
Oh, wow.
And they also have a very, very active auxiliary.
Well, they have a very strong showing here today.
Yes. Post 171. This is still Post 107 American Legion. Now, there's something I want you to know. This is not the end of the parade. This is the Southern Vintage Fire Apparatus Association, and several of their members are veterans. I'll wait just a moment. But these are all, they're nonprofit. They protect the history and traditions of fire service through all of their fantastic trucks, but they also promote fire safety to children. They have a safe house where they go through and pretend, like, what do you do with the fire in the kitchen? What do you do with the fire in the bedroom? Hey, baby, look at her. Yes. And
so the biggest thing for them is preserving, antique, historical fire engines, and we've got a couple of examples here.
Yeah.
And that's a toss-up. What do you want to do with when you retire from the military? Are you buying a Corvette or are you buying a fire truck? It depends on what day of the week you ask me. That's what the answer is going to be there. Because I would trade that truck I wanted a minute ago for that fire truck right now.
Well, I want Bill Graham to ring the bell on the front of it. I didn't see that one this year, but they have one that has a big bell on the front of it.
Well, there's still a few more coming up. No,
That's
I want
right.
the ladder truck. I don't want the other truck. I want the ladder truck.
So we've got American Legion Post 205, and they are driving in the parade today.
All right, so my new goal is to find and restore one of those.
Are you serious?
Why not? I mean, come on. Like Corvettes are fast, but what do you have? Well, I have a ladder truck. I restored a 1965 fire truck. Way cooler.
What, you use it to clean the gutters on your house?
I'll use it for anything. I'll use it to go to Walmart.
I would. Southern Vintage Fire Apparatus, they sometimes have trucks that you can take one look and know that they are from many decades ago.
Right.
And again, the parade has kind of gotten a little bit out of order today. This is another, I wish we knew who that was. I apologize. But here we are with the American Legion Disaster Relief. That is post 255 from Fultondale.
A lot of late entries into the parade. People that decided, that the weather was going to hold off, and good on them for coming. So that apologies for not knowing exactly who everyone is all the time, but that's good because that means that people that had previously decided that they weren't going to come actually did. So that's what we want. We'd rather that.
And there's the post from Fultondale.
And we have a Boy Scout Troop 495 out of Fairfield.
Yes.
495, Fairfield, Alabama.
So this is another late entry. So Boy Scouts of America, BSA Troop 495 out of Fairfield.
Yeah.
And it looks like they may be affiliated with an American Legion. And a lot of times that's what you'll see is an American Legion or a VFW will sponsor and keep going a Boy Scout or Girl Scout troop.
Yes, and this is another American Legion group. What happens is that about 2 weeks before the parade, we stop registration, but then these people keep coming, so you just you put a few divisions. You put a few divisions at the end, and that's why it just seems very random right now. But we're looking at the Zamora Shrine.
You've been waiting on this.
Yes, we have. I am so excited they were able to make it today with their cars. Yeah, their mission is to help children with debilitating diseases and crippling afflictions. And they support 22 hospitals throughout the U.S., Mexico, Canada. If something is wrong with your child, and they have the burn hospitals where they will make sure that you are able to get back, free lodging while you're there, and all of this is for children in the burns hospitals.
So Shriners are like a specific division of Freemasons.
Yes. It's the fun division.
It's the fun division. The one with cars that pop wheelies, and I promise you that's what he's about to do here.
Yes.
He's just waiting for enough room to clear, and then those cars are going to take off.
They look so serious.
The guy on the back knows what he's doing there. He's been doing that for quite some time. He's got it down pat. The Leaping Lena. Leaping Lena.
And they're dune buggies. Now this...
That's a fire truck.
Yeah. That really is a fire truck. That really is that they escort us for the end of the parade.
Birmingham Fire and Rescue.
Yes. Yeah, we want to thank you very, very much. We want to thank you very much for coming out for the 74th Annual National Veterans Day Parade in sunny Birmingham, Alabama.
Last year we had to do it virtual. Due to COVID restrictions.
Which was great fun
back.
too.
We're here.
We actually got
next
to
year's
take all the highlights out of the last 7 years and let you see what's been going on.
Right.
Then but see, next year is the 75th.
Right. Yep.
And that's going to be bigger than ever. We aren't even going to talk about what we hope can come to that parade. But we're already making plans for that. And we hope that you can be back for that one. And if not, you found us on the internet. So happy Veterans Day.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you all again next year.
Yes, happy Veterans Day.